Okay, let's start our session. Hi everyone. I think we have the less people. Hi Deepan, KK, Mini Smart, and I don't know one more person he joined through a mobile name. Hi everyone. Am I audible? If yes, please respond, guys. Hello. At least give a thumb symbol or a green signal in chat. Okay. Thank you. Wait, let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible to everyone. Yes, guys, you can talk yourself by unmuting. No problem. There is no any one. I think we have the less 4 to 5 members only in the call. You can talk yes or not. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Today I'm going to take a session I want to give a brief introduction about what is React and just brief introduction about React.js overview. like uh, in real scenarios where it is working, how important it is, and what is React, and how it looks like, and everything. So myself, cooler than ready, and today I'm going to give a brief introduction about React.js. That's it. So yeah, coming to this slide, introduction to React. Do you guys know what is React, and do you have any idea about React and where it's used and why, which purpose it is used? Any basic idea, basic knowledge? If you guys know, please unmute and talk. Okay, I'll take it as a no. No one can know. Okay, let me explain first. What is React? So, a React is a JavaScript library which is using building user interfaces. User interfaces, which means whatever the user can see on the screen. For suppose you guys are seeing on the screen, right? In the screen, or else if I open this one or something if I search like this, anything, whatever I search, we can see in the visible. We can see in the screen, right? This is called user interface. So React is a JavaScript library which is using building a user interfaces. Whatever the user can see on the screen, so those screens we can build by using React.js. It was developed by Meta, which is called Facebook, and the Facebook name changed it from Facebook to Meta by 2013. And React helps developers to create fast, interactive, and reusable UI components for both web and mobile applications. One second, guys. Yeah. React help developers create fast, interactive, and reusable UI components. So moving forward, we'll know about how the fast the application will work with the React and what is interactive and how the reusable components for both the web and mobile applications. This is what about all about React. React is a JavaScript library which is using building user interfaces and which helps us to create a fast, interactive, and reusable UI components for both the web and mobile applications. How does React work? Like, let me explain first DOM before we're going to discuss about how does React works. Let me explain what is DOM. Do you guys anyone knows like what is DOM? If yes, please respond. If not, anything. We can talk, no problem. You can mute yourself and interact. Yes, it is. So let me explain about the DOM. So DOM is nothing but document object model. So DOM is a programming interface that represents an HTML page as a tree structure. So DOM is a programming interface, which means programming interface means, for suppose if you want to write any code, I mean if you did write any code in a React, so that code you want to present in a UI. I mean the screen, whatever the screen you are seeing. So before the code and screen, that code is converted into DOM. That the browser, whatever the browser you are returning, that browser has a one DOM. So whatever the code we return, that code is rendered in HTML elements. Whatever the data rendered in an HTML elements, that data only visible on the screen, like a, as a tree structure. Each HTML elements, maybe you guys known that HTML elements like a div tag, a tag, p tag, I mean like a tag, any whatever it may be in this tree structure. So JavaScript can use the DOM to access and change or add or remove elements dynamically. This is the dump. For example, let me show you one example. Currently I'm opening one of the inspect element. Now we can see in the UI one image and sending anything. If you inspect this one, you guys are see the div. Inside the div we have that a tag. Inside that a tag, they're uh, pasting one of the link, and inside h tag we have that one text and everything. So whatever the HTML DOM contains the data, this data only user can see. For suppose this is React users skills, right? Now upskill, I want to change this one, the name. So we can change it. So which means, so whatever the HTML DOM contains the data, that data only user can see. This is called entire the DOM. So each and every browser contains the DOM, like before rendering the user interface. This is all contain. This is known as a DOM. So now coming to the point, how does React works? Now let me explain how does React works. So React creates a virtual DOM in a memory. Virtual DOM in the means this is the real DOM. So someone has written the code and that code rendered in HTML DOM, that this code is user can see now on user interfaces. Now coming to the React, for suppose someone has written this code in React.js. So React what did means it create a virtual DOM from the real DOM. This is the real DOM. In the backend, it creates a virtual DOM in a memory. So for that, instead of what's the use of the virtual DOM means, instead of manipulating the browser's DOM directly, it does all the necessary manipulating before making changes the browser's DOM. For suppose if I click this one, it's redirecting to the whatever the code it has. For suppose if I click this one, as you can, as anyone can observe, for every click the page gets refreshing, right? Every page for refreshing, every per click, on click events, the page gets refreshing for every click. But in the React it doesn't happen. Why? Because of the virtual DOM. So the React what did, whenever that code renders on the screen, so React creates a virtual DOM instead of the real DOM. So whatever the changes user wants to do, like any buttons and any click, it gets refreshing. It's the page is not gets refreshed, but only the part of the HTML tag only gets refreshed. For example, you guys can using the real time like Instagram, Facebook, like Netflix. It's a single page applications, right? In Instagram, as you can see, we have lots of lots of buttons like, share, and comment and everything. So whenever we are clicking on that like button or comment button, that session, that related part session only will open, but not the page doesn't get refreshed. As like you can see in this one, just now we see, right? Page gets refreshed each and every click. That is the one main advantage of the React. This is how the React gets work. Let me show you some pictures with the DOM. You guys can know the idea. This is the DOM. Inside the DOM, this is a DOM tree, HTML tag and header tag, body tag. Inside body tag, we have some meta. Just now we seen that the links, a tag, the title also, the strong tag inside that world. Whatever the data rendering in HTML tag, those data only user can see on the screen. And coming to the virtual DOM, this is the virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is a copy of a real DOM. For suppose user did some changes in, I think, let me give an example. I have the one small application. Inside that application, I have rendered the 8 to 10 components, 8 to 10 components, and I want to make a changes only 2 or 3 components inside my entire application. So the user wants to make changes 1 or 2 components. This is a virtual DOM in React. Again, it's re-renders, but page doesn't get refreshed. Only the related component gets refreshed wherever the user did the changes. Those changes only gets reflected without getting the page refreshen. This is the main difference between DOM and virtual DOM. How React creates a virtual DOM. How the process is going on in the backend. Hope everyone can know a minimum idea about like DOM and virtual DOM and how in real networks are DOM working and how in React it's doing and how it's working. As of now, do you have any queries like about the DOM, how the React renders, how the page it works? Do you guys understood like what is the DOM, real virtual DOM, how the React gets rendered? Yeah, you can talk yourself by unmuting yourself, no problem. Guys, are you there? Am I audible? Okay, then okay. Take it as hope everyone can understand like what is DOM and what is virtual DOM, how React using, right? If you have any queries, please. Okay, I'm taking as a no. Everyone can understood. So now let me explain like why only React in present generation. So it's a fast and efficient and component based, simple and declarative, strong ecosystem and community. So let me explain one by one. Fast and efficient. So as of now, we discussed about the DOM, like virtual DOM and real DOM. So React uses the virtual DOM, so it updates only what's needed instead of reloading the whole page. So React uses the virtual DOM. Because of the virtual DOM, the page updates what instead of reloading the whole page. This makes apps smooth, like Facebook or Instagram, Netflix, as we are real time we are already using those apps. Because of that React, we will get a making smooth apps and fast everything. Component based. So component based means, for suppose, yeah, let us take example and real scenarios like Instagram, Facebook. As you can see in the Facebook, we have the lots of screens. We can see ID page, ID name page. Inside that image, inside that down like share, like something like comment button, everything in Facebook. But whatever the benefit in React, we can create multiple components. For the ID, we can create a separate component. For the image, we can create separate component. For the likes button, we can create the separate components. So those components we can render in one page, and also we can reuse those components wherever you want. For suppose this is my page. Here I want two to three buttons or four, five buttons. But button is a common button. I mean, you want to use that button five to six places in your application. For that, we just create one component for that button. That one component we can use wherever we want in our application. Here, left, right, or somewhere, wherever we want. So which means saves time, makes project easier to maintain and scale because of that component based React. So coming to the point, simple and declarative. So which means you just tell the what you want to the UI looks like in React. So React handles the updates, how it's updates, which means it contains the tons of libraries, inbuilt libraries related to the UI and functionality and everything. It contains a tons of libraries in the React. So moving forward, we'll discuss and we'll gain most of the knowledge on React. And coming to strong ecosystem and community, we get we have already know sorry we have already known that it's backed by the Facebook since 2013, and huge community and tons of libraries we have inside that React router, for example, React router, Redux, Nest.js. We have lots of tons of libraries we have. So based on the libraries, we can write our code like whatever you want very simply and meaningfully, and easy to get help, resources, and job opportunities also. That's why everyone nowadays learning the React. And coming to, let me explain like benefits of learning React. um, it's a high demand in jobs, reusable and scalable development. High demands in the sense, React is one of the most used front-end frameworks libraries worldwide. As you can see, Facebook also using Instagram and Netflix, Airborne, Uber, S- Shopify. I guess maybe everyone is shifting to using the React. So strong demand and good packages also. If we learn that React, reusable and scale development. Yeah, just now we discussed about that reusable and scalable developments. We build components once and reuse everywhere. Saves time, makes apps easier to maintain, and faster web apps. Virtual DOM, like coming to this point, Virtual DOM makes React apps super fast compared to a plain JavaScript, like a smooth, dynamic user experience like Instagram, the whatever we discussed about that examples. Huge ecosystem and community. For that also we discussed like thousands of ready-made packages, libraries available like UI kits, charts, form handling, state management, and also easy to find solutions, tutorials, and community support. And coming to another point, the versatility. If we learn the React, we can implement the web, mobile, desktop applications. With the React, we can develop the web apps, React native mobile apps we can develop, Electron plus React, we can develop like desktop apps. If you learn the React.js, you can learn the React Native and Nest.js. Everything is related to the React.js only. The future-proof skills. React has I think React has been around for 10 years and it's still growing. Uh, and it's still growing. So latest React, I guess, React 19 released in 2024, and it's going on. Yeah, and continuous updates, large companies backing it. So yeah, if you know a React, learning Next.js, React Native, or even other frameworks become much easier. So this is all about the React. So finally, I want to say that if you learn the React up to 10, 15 years from here to we have the boom. Not 10, 15 years. I'm not sure about that. It's a very good technology if you learn, easy to learn and yeah. Um, mm. It's a JavaScript library. I think I don't know her name. It's a JavaScript library. React is a. Up to now, do you have any queries? Yeah. Up to now, do you have any queries about the React, how it's rendered and how in real time it's worked? Hope everyone knows a little bit about the React now, like what is the React, how it's going to work, and how it's working, how it's rendering, and how user can see on the screen based on the DOM and virtual DOM. Okay, taking charts. Yes, it is used in the front end. Mahidar, it is used only front end. So we can, whatever this user seeing on the screen, the, so we can develop that page by using the React wherever the application and the screen everywhere. So coming to, let me brief discuss about that entire React.js, the basic foundation and intermediate concept and advanced features. After that, how we are going to expert in React as a React developer and how we are going to crack a job and everything. So coming to the core basics in the React, we have up to 5 to 6 basics we have. So moving forward, we will learn together like what is the React and how it's going to implement, how we are going to write a code, how we are going to render that thing. Now we have the multiple core basics foundations in the React like JSX. JSX is nothing but JavaScript XML, like how the JSX is working and how instead of JS, why we are using the JSX and components. Inside that components, we have the two components, component class based component and functional based component. I think up to 4 years back, everyone used to use like class-based components in nowadays in real scenarios. In every project, everyone using the functional based components. So moving forward, we'll learn like how to create class-based component, what are the inside the inbuilt methods, and what are the functional components, and and also props also we can learn like how to passing the data. Props is nothing but like how to maintain a data between the components, how to pass a data, how we are using the data from one component to another component, how we are passing, and the state management also is the related to the data like with the state we can use our data entire our application wherever you want without the props. This is the core basics. If you learn these core basics, maybe you can get some idea, and you guys can create one small project by yourself by using the React in your own, whatever you want. If you learn these skills, coming to intermediate concepts. So here we can learn like event handlings like on click events, on change events, etc. So we have lots of event handlings we have, and conditional rendering and list and keys like array, dot map methods, and everything we can learn. Life cycle methods and hooks. So life cycle, just now we discussed about components, right? In life cycle methods, we have the class-based components. Hooks concept, we have the functional based components like use state and use effect. We are using in functional based components. In class-based components, we have the different in predefined methods we have. So we can learn those things. Form handling also. These are all the intermediate concept. And coming to advanced feature, we have React router. Like with the React router, how we can navigate a one page to another page, how we are passing the links, we can learn here. And context API. Based on that API, I mean, how we are receiving the data across the component and how to pass the data based on the API, we can learn here. And performance optimizations like load aliasing, suspense. Moving forward, you guys can learn like what is this and error boundaries. Coming to ecosystem and real world development, so we can use that just now we discussed about we have the multiple inbuilt libraries in React. So in the final stage we can learn like inbuilt libraries, Redux, just stand recoil, how it's going to install in our application, how we are going to use that thing, and styling approach. The CSS modules also we have the inbuilt libraries in React. We can also learn how we are going to use that, and testing. And I guess in real scenarios, React.js needs to run test cases also. Whatever the code you write in the JSX file, we can write the same thing into the test file by ourselves only. So for that, we have the inbuilt libraries in React, like just React testing library, whatever it may be. So based on that libraries, how we are going to write a unit testing, we can learn here. Development. So at last, we'll develop one of the big application with all our uh, basics, intermediate concept, and advanced feature. We can learn how to develop a application, one entire application, how it's working. So then we'll get a 100% idea on React and we'll easily get a jobs. Yeah, today I just want to give a brief introduction about React, and this is what I want to present with you guys. Uh, Now it's your turn. Do you have any queries or anything, any questions? Yeah, if you guys understood everything, please give a thumbs up or like anything. Yes, it's clear. Or if you are not clear, like, do you have any queries, please ask. I'll explain one more time, or two times, or three times, no problem. Which one? What you want to explain, Mahida? Yeah, Mahida. What you want to explain? Could you please ask your question. Yeah, you guys can talk 7 and 8. Okay. You want me to explain like 7 and 8 slides or okay, okay. Yeah. In 7 and 8 we have discussed about like benefits of React, high demands. Because of the React, just now we discussed about that DOM, right? So React is one of the most used front-end framework library worldwide, and also many top companies using the React. That's why it's a very high demand in job. Reusable and scalable development, building components and reusing uh, already implemented components in our entire applications. And fast and web apps. Because of the virtual DOM, the page not gets re-rendered again, refreshed again. So whatever the page, wherever you want to change any elements or change any code in your application, that place only gets updated, which means it's increasing and it's giving the fast experience to the user. Use ecosystem and community. Like as just now we discussed about that uh, React inbuilt libraries, which contains the like thousands of ready-made packages and libraries are available. So easy and also easy to find solutions, tutorials and community support also. And also we can develop a web, mobile, a desktop applications. Let me explain that package. And if you have the fresher, it's there in MNC company they are providing 3 to 4 lakhs in a freshers. And coming to the mid variant, like if you have like 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 years experience, will expect up to 15 to 18 lakhs package. And you have some more experience like above 5 years or 5 to 6 years, definitely will expect above 25 lakhs package. I'm sure about that. And every company will providing based on the your experience. For fresher, will get up to 4 lakhs. So these are all the basics of, I mean, the components and how the React we are going to learn the step by step. I just mentioned here the core basics, like in the core basics, which topics we are going to learn, and intermediate concept inside that how we are going to learn what the topics we are going to, and advanced feature, and same as the ecosystem in that the final level. Yeah. And also you guys are consider that in in every company and everyone is using the React now. So you don't feel like there is openings are there or not in the React. You can blindly believe that every company has a React projects and every company has a openings for React every year as a freshers. So if you learn deeply, definitely will get a job up to 4 lakhs as a fresher. If you have a 2 to 5 years experience, we'll expect 15 to 18 lakhs package between. And if you have the 5 plus years experience, definitely will get about 25 lakhs package. Yes. And any questions? More question? Except Mahidhar. Thanks, Mahidhar, for your confirmation. And anyone? Yeah. If you have any question, please talk or give me a chat. Give me. Yeah, we only work with React. I think almost it's based on the company's choice. I don't know your name. For suppose if the company hires you work on the React, if the project starts from the zero itself, or else if the project is already developed and we just going and working on the existing application, yeah, we can work on the React. But in the Jira project also we can work on the React only. Will in companies, you no need to learn anything. We have the backend peoples and they are providing the data, and based on the data we are implementing our application in the React. Yeah, we can only work on the React only. You no need to worry about that. Yes. Come on, guys. You can unmute yourself and talk. No problem. There is no any persons. I mean, less persons, less people, right? And React, I want to mention one more thing. React is very easy to learn, and we no need to write the complete code with our own. Why? Because we have the uh, libraries. We have the inbuilt libraries. We can learn how to use that libraries, and we can use those libraries in our React applications. And easy to understand also. This is not much complicated subject, so you guys can easily learn by yourself after learning. What you want to know? Yeah, moving forward, we'll learn together. Yeah, moving forward, we'll learn together, how to uh, learn and how to do that. Oh, I want to know difference between framework and library. Okay. Library is nothing but the collection of pre-written code, functions, what I can say, the classes or modules that you can use in your program. For suppose, just now I discussed about that predefined. Uh, One second. Yeah, life cycle methods and hooks, use state and use effect. These are all comes under the libraries functions, classes, modules that you can use our programming or our application. But you can also you call the library when you need something. Like for suppose use state, we can use something what we can say, somewhere you want to use in your code. Based on that, we have that libraries like array, dot, mean, and everything. Coming to the framework, it's a structured foundation for a building applications. Like you write a code, but framework decide when and how to run it. Like what you can say, this is called invention of control also. Like Django, example Django in we have that in Python in web frames, request and everything. Like that. Coming to the React, maybe the library for the library we can control. Coming to the Next.js remix, like we have that multiple names which is called frameworks. They control structure and whatever we follow the rules. Yeah, go Maida. Okay, let me explain about the first React. React is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces, as we can discuss it just now, and where it runs like it runs in the browser like client side. So coming to the use cases, the building web apps, handling UI, rendering components dynamically in React. For suppose if you want to syntax, like let me write for the React like how its a syntax looks like. Mm, Okay. This is the basic component I'm returning in React. Let me wait in the chat. I'm sending that chat. Mm, Yes. So HTML tag. I'm returning like which one? Okay. Right. This is the React syntax. Coming to the node. A Java node is a JavaScript runtime environment that lets you run JavaScript outside the browser on the server. Hope you understand. A JavaScript runtime environment. Node is a JavaScript runtime environment that lets you run JavaScript outside the browser on the server like a backend in the Node.js. Like based on that Node.js, we can building APIs, server-side logic, access database handling files. The Node.js, we can run a server like a backend. So based on that Node.js, we can building a APIs and we can I mean we can take any data from the database and based on that APIs we can send from backend to the front end. So coming to the Node.js, it entirely running on the backend side. So coming the expressions we have in a Node.js, we have lots of API calls like post, get method, like request methods, like that. Based on that, we can run that and backend. One example, like, okay, let me uh, write one of the example, like, mm, what example? Let me wait. Uh, are you able to see my screen? As we can see, we have the lots of APIs we can see in here. Like this is the one API, and we have that request method get. So based on that request method, we are sending one of the payload here that one of the preview we are receiving, which is nothing but this is the data we are receiving from the DB. Maybe I guess that this entire data in the payload, we are sending that payload. Based on that payload, we are retrieving data, and this is the header, the request URL. Maybe I'm not sure where in which language it was written, but coming to the Node.js, the same thing it's worked. Like whatever the request you want, this is the request method, and this is that payload we are send. This is that header we are sending, and whatever the payload we send, based on that we are receiving the data. This data we are going to wait. Are you able to see now whatever I'm sharing or not? Oh, God. 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. Let me share it again. Share it again. Mm, yeah. Are you able to see now? Okay. So coming to, I'm in one of the browser page. If you open that network tab, I'm clicking one of the API here. Inside that API, we can see that request URL here. Whatever the request URL we are passing, this is the request URL. And inside that request URL, we have that request method that like get, which means I want to a data to read from the database, something like that. Here we are not passing any payload. If you want to pass like any payload based on that requirement, based on that our API and everything, we are retrieving the data here as a preview. React documents, ReactJS, React tutorial, and everything. I think we are retrieving this is entire from the backend, which means this is running at the server side like a backend. User can't see. This is the one of the best example with Node.js and React. I'm not sure this code was written in the Node.js, but yeah, this is the process and this is the difference between the React and Node Node.js. Yeah. And also hope I have already explained while explaining to sharing the screen also, but you guys are not seeing, right? This is the DOM looks like in the web page. The whatever the data is rendered inside this DOM, that only user can see inside the, I mean, on the screen. Whatever the data renders on the HTML tab, they can use. Like we can change here. It's reflect on this here. Like yeah, whatever the data is rendered in the DOM, then only user can see. The coming to the React, whenever you write a code in the React by using the React.js, so it's create a virtual DOM from real DOM to the virtual DOM. So inside that virtual DOM, whatever you want to do in your application, like if you want to add any buttons here, I already React created a virtual DOM in a backend in memory, right? So the that virtual DOM, it's created that button and implemented. I mean, not implemented, like creates that button and updated here. And without refreshing the page, it gets updated here, except refreshing the entire page. This is the main advantage in React. Yeah. I think, yeah, we have already time. Do you have any queries, guys? Time. If not, we'll end our session. Already the time. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Madhir, for your questions. Thanks, one more person, and thanks everyone. Bye. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.